today in writing we're looking at the learning challenge I Can Plan My Writing. We've got the sheet that looks like this. It has the big story path on it, and on it we are going to use some little pictures to help us plan our writing. So the things that happen at the beginning of the story go at the beginning of the story path, the things that happen in the middle of the story go in the middle, and the things that happen at the end go at the end. We're going to draw the events in order so that tomorrow when we're doing our writing, they will help us jog our memory. We'll be able to remember about what the next thing we need to write about is. We are being the wolf and we are retelling the story of what happened to us through a diary entry that starts with Dear Diary. It might be useful if you have the PDF of the book open with you while you are doing this to help you kind of remember what happens next, and to help you know which pictures to draw. I have got it open at the side of me as well, but unfortunately I don't think it will let me show you it at the same time that I'm showing you my story path. So we're going to think about what happens at the beginning first, so you can flip back to the text if you want to. At the beginning of the story, we've got the wolf. He has a terrible sneezing cold. He is making a birthday cake for his granny, and then he ran out of sugar, so we've got quite a lot to draw for our first picture. So the first thing we're going to draw is the making of a cake for his granny's birthday. So what I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw like a bowl, and in the bowl I'm going to draw a spoon to mix all the mixture up with. I'm going to draw some flour, maybe some sugar. Oh no, he ran out of sugar, didn't he? So he hasn't got enough sugar, so maybe only a tiny bit of sugar. Some uncracked eggs, where he's left the shells in, and maybe some bunny ears as well, because I know that in the book his cake has got rabbit ears in. So there is the bowl where he's making the cake. He's making the cake and he has a terrible sneezing cold, so now we need to draw an ill wolf. My wolf might not be that great, but I'm going to give it a go. There's his mouth, and there's his ears. Oh, that's not the best ever wolf, but it'll do. I'm going to draw his eye. I'm going to draw his nose, and I'm going to draw him sweating a little bit because he's feeling a bit poorly. And then I'm going to draw a thermometer coming out of his mouth like that, and it's glowing bright red because he's really hot because he's poorly and he's got a temperature. So I've got my wolf who's ill. He's making a birthday cake and he has run out of sugar, so down here I'm going to draw just a bag of sugar. I'm going to label it as sugar, and then I'm going to put a cross through it because he has no sugar. So this is the first thing that happens in the story. We're making a cake, terrible sneezing cold, ran out of sugar. Next, the wolf is going to walk to the neighbour's house. I'm going to walk to the neighbour's house and I knock on the door, but the door falls down, and then I sneeze and the house falls down. So this house is made of straw. So I need to draw a straw house, to remind myself that the next house I go to is a straw house. I'm going to do that by doing lots of like little sticky outy bits to try and make the house look like it's made of straw. That house looks like a straw house, and if I want to I could also write the word straw there to remind myself that that house is made out of straw. So I walk to the straw house and I blow the door down, so I might draw a little door-shaped strawy door there, because the door fell off the house when I knocked on it. And then next I do a sneeze, so I'm going to draw the wolf doing a big sneeze. He looks a bit like a wolf, and he's doing a big sneeze, and he's a bit surprised, doing surprised eyebrow. Achoo. My wolf is sneezing, And then where the house used to be, there's now just a big pile of straw. And there's a little pig, dead as a doornail. He's not very alive. He's in the middle of the big pile of straw. So, let's just check that it all makes sense from the beginning. I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked, and I might do an arrow there. So I walked to the straw house where the pig lived, and I knocked, but the door fell down. Then I felt a sneeze coming on, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And the sneeze blew the house down. There was the pig, dead as a doornail. Great, that makes sense. Okay, next. Oh, what did I forget? Something really important happens after the pig dies. The pig dies, so I ate him. So next I'm going to draw the little pig, there he is, on a plate. And I'm going to draw a knife and fork next to him to remind me that I ate the pig. That's really important. I almost forgot that. The pig died and then I ate him. So now I'm going to go to the next house. Now the next house is made out of sticks. So I'm going to draw the stick house. I'm not quite sure how to draw a stick house. This house looks like a stick house. I'm going to go to the stick house, and here I'm going to write sticks to remind myself that this house is made out of sticks. And when I get to the stick house, I ring the doorbell, but the pig shouts, "Go away, Wolf, you can't come in, I'm shaving the hair on my chinny chin chin." So I'm going to draw, to help myself remember that, I'm going to draw a pig with a nose like that, 2 eyes, some ears, but he's a bit of a mean pig, he's rude to me, isn't he? So I'm going to give him evil eyebrows, and I'm going to give him a hairy, beardy chin. So there's my hairy pig. He's a bit hairy. He's shaving the hair on his chinny chin chin. So then I feel another sneeze coming on. So I'm going to do another sneeze. And there's my sneeze. And oh, and I tried to cover my mouth as well, so I'll draw him trying to cover his mouth. He tried to cover his mouth, but he sneezed a great sneeze, and the stick house fell down. And there's the little pig. Dead as a doornail. Wolf's on it. Super. So there he is, and now I need to remember the really important part, which is where the pig gets eaten. So I'm going to draw the same picture as before. I've got a plate, I've got the pig there with his curly tail, and I'm going to draw a knife and a fork. So I ate the pig again. Now I'm going to go to the third little pig's house. His house is made of bricks, so I'm going to draw an arrow, and then I'm going to draw a brick house, which is quite easy to draw. And I'm at the brick house. Now I'm going to remind myself what happens in the story here. When I get to the brick house, oh, the pig was really nasty, wasn't he? He said, "Get out of here, don't bother me again." So this pig is really nasty as well. The pig is really nasty, so I'm about to go home, and then he says, "Your granny can sit on a pin." So I'm going to draw a big nasty pig, because he's being really nasty. And I'm going to draw him looking evil with evil eyebrows. Oh, sorry, I've got not in the right part of the screen. There it is. And he's going to say, I'm just going to write "sit on a pin" to remind myself that he says your granny can sit on a pin. And then I get so angry, so I'm going to draw the wolf being really angry. I'm going to draw him looking really angry because he said a really horrible thing about my granny. I'm going to draw his big teeth out. He's getting really angry now. And he's sneezing and being really angry. And then the police come. There's a little police car. Draw the police car with a little siren on top. Well, you know. And then they are going to put me in jail. So I'm going to draw some jail bars. Like this. And then behind there I'm going to draw the wolf. And his long nose. Just there. And he's looking really sad. Try and draw him a little sad face. Because he's in jail. And there he is. Okay, so this is my story map. I'm just going to make that look a bit more like a jail. There it is. Looks a bit like a jail. I'm just going to run through it quickly from the beginning. So we are retelling the story of what happened to us, the wolf. So I'm going to try and use the words I this time to prepare myself for my writing. I'm just going to make sure the story makes sense, make sure I haven't missed anything important out. I was making a cake. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. I walked to my neighbour's house, and his house is made out of straw, but he wasn't that bright. I knocked on the door, but the door fell in because it was made of straw. I felt a sneeze coming on, so I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze. The house fell down, and there was the pig dead as a doornail. The pig was already dead, so I ate him. And then I walked to the stick house, where the pig was really rude. He said, "Go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hair on my chinny chin chin." And then I sneezed a great sneeze, and the house fell down. And the pig was dead, so I ate him again. And then I walked to the brick house, and I was still looking for my cup of sugar. But when I got there, the pig was really rude. He said, "Your granny can sit on a pin." And because he said such a horrible thing about my granny, I got really angry, and I was huffing and snuffing and knocking on his door. So he called the police, and the police came and they put me in jail because I was creating such a scene. Super story map. That is how to do your story map. I'd love it if you could send me some pictures of them. I hope you enjoyed this video because I actually really enjoyed doing that story map. It was really fun.